the trio of guests I have with us did some fundraisers for the Choral Society and thought, well, okay, it was a nice time. Never do that again. Guess what? They're back, as the card says. They were known then as Grief, Goss, and Grief, and they're back to do it again. And I think I'm going to be in trouble this hour, but what the heck. In studio, all three of them. First of all, we say good morning to Stefan Gauss. How are you? Good morning.
Doing well, Art. Nice to see you.
Good to see you, Stefan. Andy Grief. Andy, good morning.
Hey, thanks for having me, Art.
And the one troublemaker in the bunch. I've known this guy decades and decades and decades. And somehow I still talk to him once in a while.
I was 3 when you first met me.
Right.
And I think you were 42. I think that's how that worked.
And now you know, folks, that belongs to Tim Grief. Tim, how are you, my friend?
Hey, I'm just glad to be here, my friend.
Glad. I think we're all glad to be here.
Yeah, that's also true.
For various reasons. How many years has it been since you guys did your shtick together?
The last show was in 14, right? 2014.
Yeah, 11 years.
Yeah.
11 years you did one.
Yeah.
We did 5 in about a 6-year period, and then this is the 6th show.
And what got you guys together?
Tammy.
Originally?
Tammy Grief, Tim's wife.
Yeah. Originally to do it, or this time?
No, every time.
Well, it's always Tammy.
Right.
You know, it doesn't really matter. Yeah, that's the answer.
You know, Tammy wanted to do a fundraiser for the Choral Society. Okay. I sang with the Choral Society for 20 years.
Yep.
The love of my heart. And she called and said that she had the idea that the 3 of us could do Crosby, Stills, and Nash. We sat at
that
Spencer's.
was the original inspiration.
That's right. We sat at Spencer's and talked it over and decided we could do the harmonies for that and it would be good. And then we decided that we'd have Andy do his guitar. And then Andy sat up and said, but wait a minute, we need a band. And he took it from there.
And you literally have one because the performance. Let's tell everybody. But I can go through these interviews and forget to do the important stuff. Tell everybody when you're going to be performing and where.
This Friday and Saturday night at the Pit and Balcony Theater on Hamilton.
And what time?
7 o'clock till we're done.
It's supposed to be 2 hours. We'll see.
Yeah. I'm laughing because Tim, of course, had a very famous band around here for years and years and years called the Loose Caboose. And that's the way it was. You went to the show, you went to the bowling alley, wherever they were performing. You got there because they had a certain start time, but there was no end time.
No. That's the truth. Yeah.
Oh, my goodness gracious. So it's going to be Friday and Saturday, 7 o'clock at Pit and Balcony.
Yes.
And tickets are available where? We'll come back to it again, but I want to...
The easiest way to get them is to just go to SaginawChoralSociety.com. You know, go to the Saginaw Choral Society website, and you can buy them right there.
Now, you mentioned Andy Band, and this is a pretty healthy group of folks here. I mean, it's not just 2 or 3.
So this has been a little bit of an evolution, all right? So going back, the original band, originally these guys approached me and they said, we're going to do Crosby, Stills, and Nash. And I said, great. Who are we using? And they said, you. And I said,
you and your guitar. Huh?
I said, well, that isn't going to work. At the time, I had a band, and I knew some musicians in the area, and we pulled together a pretty good group of people there. And it kind of morphed over there. As the years grew, we did more intense music. Eventually, we needed horns, and we did this and that. This year, it's come back. We've got some of our absolutely consummate musicians in the area here.
Dennis Gottlieb.
He's an original member from the Crosby, Stills, Nash, and Eagle shows. He's our lead guitarist. Plays with me. Joe Balbaugh. He's involved in many different projects in the area. Yeah.
Steve Nyquist.
Just a wonderful guy. I mean, if you're involved in music in Saginaw, you know who Steve is. He's kind of got a hand in a little bit about everything.
Lauren Krantz.
Same way. Lauren's all these guys are A-listers.
I'm going to skip the next one. Catherine McMichael. And Jeremiah Kraniak, who, of course, is the conductor of the Choral Society.
Flute.
Yeah. And then there's this gal called Tammy Grief.
Right.
Yeah.
funny thing about that.
Isn't that something?
Yeah. I got to ask you, Andy. You're a guitar player.
Mm-hmm.
Your dad was a picker,
Mm-hmm.
and he could really play the banjo. What led you? Was it Dad that led you to music and picking up the string?
Oh, certainly. Yeah. From a very young age, I mean, I have memories driving down Bay Road. I have a very, very vivid memory driving down Bay Road, and we were listening to "Immigrant Song" by Zeppelin. Yeah, and he was having me sing the bass line to him and also play the beat. And what this was doing was training my ear and my musical intuition. Well, when I got a little bit older, I was at Grandma and Grandpa's house, and things he forgot he even owned, I found a pair of old Gibson vintage guitars.
Wow.
And I brought those home, and he goes, "Oh, geez, I did have these." Well, it turns out that these are beautiful instruments. It's a vintage
Well, Gibson.
Yeah, vintage '68 Gibson. Still have it. Still play it. I played it for 30 years. I have some new.
You shouldn't tell him that because they're probably worth some money. He's probably going to want them back.
Yeah. He still says they're his guitars. Yeah.
He goes with possessions 90% of the law.
Yeah.
And that's real.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. And there's our attorney that jumps in on
And you're
that.
going with memory is 100%.
Let me share. I want to interject just for a second.
Yeah, no, go ahead.
Andy was taking piano lessons, and not doing very well. He wasn't interested in the piano. I don't know why, but he really wasn't. But I also had a set of drums in the basement. Mm-hmm. So I set those drums up, and I told him, look, and he wanted to play them. I said, for every minute that you put in on your piano, you can put in on the drums. Andy is a stellar drummer. He really is. Hasn't played him in a while, but that got him really going. And then we learned, look, let the kid follow his passion. And it wasn't very long that he went back to the piano as well. It was just that
I had to do that just the opposite. I had thoughts of my kids and what instrument my two sons should play. They both wanted the drums.
Oh, yeah.
I had the battle of Gretsch and Yamaha in the basement.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, gosh.
So about the time I formed my very first band in middle school, and I'm trying to decide what do I want to do. I want to be the drummer. I want to be the bass player. I'm going to make a band. Dad said to me, and he said very, very honestly, he says, listen, if you're going to do this and you're going to be serious, you got to pick what role you want. I think you're a front man. I think you should play a guitar. And I started there. That's where I just started playing guitar and moving down that road. And honestly, guitar fell naturally to my hand much easier than other instruments.
You're the product of a natural front man.
Yeah.
That's true.
I remember the Loose Caboose so vividly. My late wife and I used to go. We were fans. We were fanatics. We were obsessed with him. And part of it was because of the kind of front man he was. Mm-hmm. Not only musically, not only gifted that way, but personality-wise, humor, all of that stuff. And I'm saying this to embarrass him. I hope I do. I mean,
it's hard. It's hard to do.
I only paid you $20. You're giving me the $50 deal here. That's what I think.
Send it over.
Art, we have a common family friend. As a matter of fact, Jim is scheduled to be our MC, Jim Kenyon. And I remember he used to have a Memorial Day party at his place out in Hemlock, the house that Tim built.
Yeah, the pig roast.
The pig roast. Yeah. And I've been hearing that Andy could play. He was about 16. And I thought, oh, yeah, he's around the fire. And I said, Stairway to Heaven, play that for me. And he did. I thought, okay, I'm sold.
Interestingly enough, though, I was doing some cool stuff. I was playing Hendrix, and I was doing all this stuff. I remember being very upset with Stefan, though, because Stefan picked up a guitar at the campfire, right? And it was fine, but nobody wanted to sing along with Hendrix. So Stefan picked up the guitar and played some stuff that was much easier than what I was doing. Right. But he was instantly much more popular. Everybody was singing, and I remember thinking to myself, I was upset about that. But
learning moments.
Yeah. Well, there's two sides to that. There's satisfying yourself as a musician because you love to play the Hendrix, right? Mm-hmm. Then there's satisfying the audience you're playing to.
Exactly.
They're two different things.
Right.
And you hit on a really key point for this show because we had 104 songs to pick from that we had already done. And we had the 5 earlier shows. And in addition to that, brought a couple of new sort of things. There's going to be one in the show that's going to take you right back to Loose Caboose, and you're going to love it. And the show is
Orange Blossom Special.
maybe not that nice. The thing is, the show is so up and down. It's big, and then it's melodic, and then it's quiet. It's really a very interesting,
Very
70s.
dynamic show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we're going to take a break, come back and talk more about it, and I'm going to see if I can get these guys to a cappella or something.
Oh,
boy.
Early in the
don't have
morning.
to worry about that during the break.
We're not singing till we get that meat and cheese platter you promised us.
That's a cheesy gift. We'll be back.
At Channel, we always show up for our
All right, we're back with you in studio with me, Tim and Andy Grief and Stefan Goss. Grief, Goss, and Grief. They'll be on stage this weekend for the Choral Society, raising money for the Choral Society. We will talk about the Choral Society, but I have trapped them. They're in my courtroom now, and I'm adjudicating that they need to sing. So the stage is yours, gentlemen.
All right.
We said that we started with a Crosby, Stills and Nash concert.
Yep.
All right, so we'll do a snippet of a Crosby, Stills and Nash. It always reminds me of Stefan's career because it's called "Helplessly Hoping," and so
We'll do a little snippet at 10:30 for you listeners out there. It's 10:30 in the morning. Just reminding you.
just remind you.
All right.
Of course, Andy's just coming in, so it's he's up.
All right. Right.
How's this work?
Help.
Help.
Now you got to find it. Remember now.
It's help right there.
Go back to your muscle
3,
memory.
4. Helplessly hoping her harlequin hovers nearby, awaiting a word, gasping at glimpses of gentle true spirit. He runs, wishing he could fly high, only to trip at the sound of goodbye.
All right, so now let me ask a question. It's been at least 11 years since you guys performed together.
Yep.
Do you have to relearn all this stuff?
Yes.
every rehearsal.
Yeah. We have vocal rehearsals and we write down notes in our book. Well, that's if some of us do. He can never find. My dad can never find his book. His book is perpetually gone.
You don't have to tell me.
I don't really go by the book.
No, I never have.
We write down notes in our book, and then we come back literally a week later, and we go, "What? Do you remember what this means?"
There was one descending line in one of the Crosby, Stills and Nash songs, and I just sang it when we went, "Oh my gosh, that's fantastic!" Came back 2 days later. I couldn't remember what it was. They couldn't remember what it was. It's just gone.
But it was a fantastic
It was
line.
wonderful, and the show would be better if we could just find that line.
And the funny, but also the fun thing about working in a tight trio vocal group is if one of us is off, the whole system is
We're
off.
dead.
You know, so all Stefan has to do is flat, and he can derail the entire.
Right.
Any reason he picked on you, Stefan?
Yes.
Well, the reason I did that is
Yeah.
actually because oftentimes I have the high lines.
Yeah.
And they're the easiest to hear. Secondary would be some of the lower lines. Dad takes those, and he has a very good ear for that, which leaves Stefan with some very precarious, hard to pick out melodies in the middle, and he actually has a very good propensity to do that.
Oh yeah,
very
he's our
talented
middleman.
at
That's
that.
the only reason we got him,
Yeah.
is he can do those middle lines. It was if it wasn't for that, he'd be done.
Well, and I can handle the DUIs, you know.
Well, that's also true. Yeah. It's good to have an attorney in the band. But there is something to be said for that.
Singers in the audience will recognize, though, when we say that finding that middle harmony is a very tough thing to do.
Well, but actually, you know, if I heard you right, and correct me if I'm wrong, you're resting the melody on Stefan. You're actually harmonizing around him, aren't you, in some ways?
Well, I think.
It depends on every single song.
Yeah.
And for example, in the show, I do a couple of leads. Andy does a couple of leads. Tim does most of the leads.
Okay, so it depends on the song.
On the song, right.
Yeah.
So I know you guys, you know, focused in the beginning on Crosby, Stills, and Nash, but you've expanded that territory now. So songs from what groups are you going to do? how many different groups are involved in this.
Are we allowed to say that, Tim?
Well, we can tell you what we'll say this. 5 shows prior to this, we started off with Crosby, Stills, and Nash. A lot of demand there, so we did the Eagles.
Yeah, that was
All right.
next, right?
They'll be represented.
Yeah. So both of those groups will be represented. We went to the one-hit wonders. After that, our favorite one-hit wonders, and then we did a show called Running on Empty. By this
Right.
time, the people that were coming to watch us just kind of trusted us to do what we wanted. So Running on Empty was a collection of songs we just wanted to do.
Well, but you know what? And I remember this well, and it goes for Loose Caboose, too. When my wife and I used to follow Loose Caboose, we went to see Loose Caboose. We didn't care what they did because they knew everything they did was going to be fun.
Right.
Yeah, well,
And
that's
good.
cool. That's
And
cool.
basically that's what you guys did. I mean, if I come to see you, I don't need your song list. I just want to hear what you're doing.
yeah.
Yeah.
You know, so interesting because we have the luxury, because we're only doing one concert, we have the luxury of being able to dissect absolutely every one of those songs and do it like on the money. Okay? So we did 110 tunes over 5 shows. But now if you're playing in a bar band or working the circuit, you got 150 songs that you got to pull up all the time. And a lot of times the exact intricate details of those tunes kind of get washed out because you just got so many to cover. So interestingly enough, the people that work with us, like Steve Nyquist and Joe Balbaugh, and they really appreciate the opportunity to be able to take these things aside and do them that way. So when you're in the audience, that's what you recognize.
And they jump at it.
Yeah, and what's interesting about this too, folks, is that Tim and Stefan are, let us say, senior rockers. But you still got it in you, don't you? You still kind of love that stuff.
Yeah, Tammy's trying to beat it out of me, but I'm still in there. You know?
You
Yeah.
ever miss bluegrass?
Well, yeah, I really do.
Do you still
Yeah.
pick?
Well, you know, they made me. Yeah, they made me get it out here for this gig. I should have been playing all along. You know, I really should have. But you get busy, life gets in the way. You know,
He's a
and-
real estate agent. He's got to do something for money.
Yeah, and then
He's
I
got to make money. I don't know what it is about that.
Yeah. Here's the other thing, and you said, "Oh, I could really pick." Well, I appreciate that, but here's the facts of the matter. I'm the Pete Rose of the banjo. You remember Pete Rose, Mr. Hustle?
Yeah, of course.
He was the guy that should never have been a professional ball player. He was there just because he loved it so much and he tried so hard. So going back to Loose Caboose, we would be working on a song, and I would have a lick that I'd have to make. So I would work on that thing 4 hours a day for a week, and then I'd get to practice and I'd blow it. Then we'd take a break, and Dave Egerbrecht would pick up my banjo and go, "Well, I think it goes like this." Gosh. So if you, any musician, if you set that instrument down for a while, you immediately begin to deteriorate.
I understand
So
that.
if
I
you're
have
the-
a clarinet at home that I haven't taken out in years.
There you go. So if you're the Pete Rose of banjo and you put your banjo down for 30 years, it's a little heavy to pick up. There's just no doubt about it. But yeah, I love it.
He's selling himself short.
I know that.
I will say this: we've got one tune where he's going to get featured on the banjo, and it's going to be cool.
All right. We're going to take a break, come back, talk more. We're going to talk about the Choral Society when we return here on the Art Lewis Show with Grief,
Uh-oh.
Goss, and Grief.
Fall is in the air, and that means
All right, we're back with you in studio. Tim and Andy Grief, Stefan Goss, and they will be on stage this weekend. We'll tell you more about that, performing their old Grief Goff, Grief One More Dance show, if you will, and all about the music of Crosby, Stills, and Nash, and a few others, too. But I want to talk, because this is all a fundraiser and benefit for the Saginaw Choral Society. So, Stefan, you've been involved with them a long time. I would ask Tim, but he's married to it.
Yeah.
So tell us a little history of the Choral Society and what it's all about now.
You know, Art, I went to Western Michigan, and I was involved in the music program down there. Had the chance to sing with the Detroit Symphony and doing really complex music. Came back to Saginaw, found my way to the Saginaw Choral Society just at the time that Jack Yonker was lifting it out of its doldrums.
Oh, yeah, he was phenomenal.
He was phenomenal. And, you know, the things that we've done, I sang with them for 20 years, got a little irritated with a school situation and ran for the school board. Then I realized that I was butting heads with meetings and I couldn't be in the chorus anymore. But 20 years, the things that we did and the symphonies we played with, and we were traveled to Cincinnati. We were in Ann Arbor with the Ann Arbor University Chorus.
Jack was a unique individual. Tried to teach me to sing. That's how unique he was. And Tammy was involved in that.
There you go.
The two of them had me come down, and first she sat at the piano and had me riff some chords, which were terrible. And then Jack put me up against a wall and told me how to breathe and all that stuff. But what a phenomenal guy.
Well, and, when I came to town, Jack had been the leader of the chorus maybe 3 years when I first joined it, and took it from about a $3,000 a year operation to the point where we did the first show with Andy Williams, maybe 1980 or 82, whatever that was. And we had that series of pro concerts that we did for Christmas.
Right.
And they still try to get a big artist in to do that. And the organization is a multi-$100,000 organization now. But it's a volunteer chorus. Every singer doesn't get paid. And the way the chorus supports itself is ticket sales and support by organizations, local organization sponsors, and then this sort of thing.
And if people ask, well, gee, the musicians aren't getting paid, what's hundreds of thousands of dollars for? You got to rent the space to do the performances, audio, lights, all that stuff, administration, and there's a cost to everything.
And pay the performers that you're bringing in.
And yes, and the guest artists
Right.
get paid. They're not volunteering.
Right.
You don't get Andy Williams for nothing when he was alive.
That's right.
They're still doing really great concerts, though.
They do lots of great concerts.
Saginaw Choral Society. Tammy has this family, and she's going to kill me because I don't know the name of them. There's a family of musicians from Canada, and they do like a Celtic Christmas. It's phenomenal. Who is it?
McMaster.
Well, Andy knows the name. What was it?
McMaster.
McMasters?
See,
Anyways.
He pays attention to Tammy.
Well, see, yeah. So, I know. As far as I was concerned, it was like, Tim, we got these people come in. It's blah blah blah, blah 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 blah. So that's all I remember. But anyways, it's going to be a fantastic Christmas show. These are like a combination of the Celtic dancers and fiddle players, and so there's still. I guess the days of Andy Williams are gone because.
Well, that type of artist is. Those popular artists of the day. I mean, you got to go back my era. The Andy Williams and the Perry Comos and
right,
all of that.
Yeah.
But then Branson came in, and the residencies came.
Well,
in.
Branson came in at the same time. We formed a tour business back in 1994.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the things we did was 5 Branson trips a year and sold every one of them out every time.
Right.
Because
Right.
people wanted to go down.
But we mentioned a name here, and we mentioned it with a little bit of humor. But the honest truth is, this organization, the Choral Society, our band, this fundraiser, it is Tammy. She is the
glue.
She not only she's playing the piano all the way
glue
through,
and the driver and
right.
She's a chief cook and bottle washer.
And then she handed me those things there and said, "Figure out how you hang them up on the wall at the photographs." She's directing everything in the most delightful way. And
well, I've known Tammy probably even longer than I've known Tim.
Yeah, maybe.
And because that goes back to pre-Tammy and Tim.
Yeah.
And she's always been a go-getter.
Yeah.
And she is one of those women it's very hard to say no to. Have you learned that, Tim?
Duh. I do not have permission from Tammy to answer that question.
Good. We'll take a break and ponder that. Come back, talk more about the Choral Society, things coming up, and this concert coming up this weekend.
We're proud to make
We're back with you in studio with me, G and G. Grief, Goss, and Grief.
We prefer to be called the 3Gs.
The 3Gs.
Yeah.
Good. Okay, the 3Gs are with us. Anybody hit the Barry Gibb note like the Bee Gees?
Not anymore. not on purpose, I can tell you that.
So, Stefan, let's go back to the Choral Society because they've got the great Christmas show coming up. But this is what, 70th?
90th.
90th year.
We're starting the 90th year of the choruses. So, you would talk about the Jack Yonker days. We're going back slightly 50 years. This is 40 years of the chorus in a truly community chorus volunteer little organization.
How big?
Now,
How many people?
80 to 100, depending on the year.
That's a decent-sized group.
Decent-sized group. When we were at the height of the years I was there, we were probably the biggest it was, around 100. And, it's just a glorious thing. Every week you get a great rehearsal time, and the performances are fabulous.
And we should point out, you don't just show up and sing. You got to audition.
Right,
These are good voices.
right.
This is an excellent choral group.
And a great society. I mean, I know it's a choral society, but really you are a group of wonderful friends, and you do more than just sing. If you think about the things that people do to create the music systems and have everything in place, move the risers tomorrow
Right.
from the temple to the theater. Yeah, it's just a great group of people.
And there are subgroups within the Choral Society, too.
There are, and those change as a little time to time goes by, but sometimes there's a little ladies group, and you might have a men's quartet or whatever. They're doing things. Then you've got the group of the guys, Smearden in his group.
Yeah. A tempo.
Yeah,
On tempo. Yeah.
Right.
Yep. Yep.
Right.
And it takes money.
Right.
That's what these fundraisers are for. But there's also memberships, aren't there?
You
To the
mean
society? Well,
businesses,
season,
sponsors?
business. There are business. Let's start with sponsors. Let's start with that because I'm sure this show has some.
I have received my instructions on the sponsors here.
Good girl, Tammy.
These are people that help each year. The Jury Foundation, the Saginaw Community Foundation, the Harvey Randall Wicks Foundation, the Saginaw Arts and Enrichment Commission, the State of Michigan Arts and Culture Council, and then season supporters are Robert and Pam Hart over in Midland. And Robert is quite a composer on his own. So, and then of course, Stefan is going to make a huge contribution this year. He's just not aware of that yet, but.
And I'm going to contribute all of my pay for this concert back to the Choral Society.
Yeah, well, they better be raising other money. Read the fine print in the contract he gives you.
Yeah, what contract?
Well, it's I think it's wonderful to see this kind of heritage still exist.
Yeah.
And it's heritage in the staging that you do, the music you sing. And for many of us, we'll go to this concert, and it'll be like deja vu.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
Seen this before.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Miss it.
Tim and I went to the same high school nearly the same time. He's a little older 1 year, but that's
tell him.
60 years of musical history for each of us here in this community. And you go back to my mom and dad and whatnot. I mean, you're right. The organizations here really walk hand in hand between the symphony and the choral society.
Yep.
And other arts centers like the Downtown Pride Group.
Well, it's regional, too.
Yeah.
I've said this many, many times. People are probably sick of hearing it. If you look at Saginaw Bay and Midland counties, take a round number of 400,000 people, let's say.
Right.
You find me a city anywhere in the United States of 400,000 that has 2 symphony orchestras, multiple choral groups, multiple community theaters,
True.
multiple art museums, not just one, but multiple.
Yeah.
Right.
Ask yourself, where are you going to find that?
Yeah.
And some people just don't realize it around here. I love to hear people say, "Oh, there's nothing to do." Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Can I give a warning out?
Uh-oh. Sure, go ahead, counselor.
Probably not a good idea to waltz up